Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and this is your weekly lifestyle segment where creating a beautiful life becomes the priority and you become even more fabulous. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. So today is all about time for you. That's right, you don't need to focus on anyone else or on anything else. What is most important is that you as a woman, as a queen, as a feminine woman, that you actually create the time and space for you to focus on you and your dreams and your desires and what matters to you the most. So often, you're just working in your business and you're pushing things forward and you're doing great and you're trying and you're working. But sometimes to really get that quantum leap, you gotta have alone time with you so that you can just hear from yourself. I know you're trying so hard to hear from your intuition, to hear from God, to hear from your clients, to hear from your kids, to hear from your man, to hear from what does the online world want from you? How about you take this time with me and we just have a lovely tea time with some gorgeous scones, and let's just hear from you. All right, so we're gonna do that in a little bit, but first, how about having a homemade scone? I mean, when's the last time you even had a scone anyways, right? So we're just gonna make this super fun and really special and make some homemade raspberry scones together, as one does. All right, but I'm gonna show you how easy this is. This is gonna be a decadent little treat for yourself, and it's going to be super simple. You're gonna love it. All right, so here's how it works. You take your flour and dump it in a mixing bowl. I'll have all of the proportions in the recipe for you, so you don't need to worry about all that right now. And then we're taking sugar, put it in the mixing bowl as well. A little bit of salt, because we like it salty and sweet. Baking powder and baking soda, and a little bit of lemon zest. Okay, I'm gonna get all that good lemony zest in there. And so basically, typically with baking, you wanna mix all your dry ingredients together. That's what is important first. Then the next thing you're gonna do is I've got some cubed butter, and I've kept it in the freezer a little bit so it's pretty cold. I'm gonna go and dump it in. Sometimes people do this in a food processor. I'm a little bit old school, so I'm just gonna do it with my hands or maybe a fork. And what you do is you just kind of mash the butter into the flour mixture so that it has kind of a grainy texture and consistency. So you can do this with the fork or you can do it with your hands. I like to feel food and I do it with my hands. You can have these pieces of butter. It doesn't have to be all kind of smooth in there. You want little bits of the chunks of butter in there, but handle it really lightly because the heat from your hand will melt the butter. That's why you want to start with that butter being in the freezer first, so it makes this process a little bit easier and it doesn't make it too mushy. All right, so now that we've got our dry ingredients together, I've got 2 eggs whisked together in this bowl, and now we add all of the liquids together. So I'm gonna add some milk, lemon juice, and a little bit of vanilla extract. Yum. Okay. So, whisking the wet ingredients, and now we're gonna add these to the dry ingredients and kind of gently incorporate it all together so that it makes our scone batter. So I, again, am gonna use my hands because I think that you can just really give the dough your own love and essence. It tastes different, And plus it's fun to play with food. You can also be more gentle, and you'll start to see how this very delicate batter comes together. And then we're gonna add the raspberries. So you can see how the dough, it's still wet and sticky, but how it's come together really beautifully. So we're gonna be done kneading it in the bowl. And again, you don't need any fancy equipment for this. So now we're gonna just dust the cutting board, or if you have a marble baking board, you can use that with some flour so the dough doesn't stick. And then we're gonna mix the raspberries in, which is gonna make it a little bit more wet, of course. We don't wanna overwork the dough, but we're gonna kind of just shape it out. It's a very rustic dish. You don't have to be afraid of it. It's not. And you're just gonna kind of gently place the raspberries into the dough so they get kind of like nicely folded in. This feels amazing. I can already tell how delicious it's gonna be. Plus, I'm putting all my love into it. See these beautiful raspberries kind of oozing out here? So we're just gonna kind of form this in a bit of a disc. I'm gonna drizzle just a little flour around the wet spots. All right, so kind of like a baby's ass. It's just kind of soft and it's smooth. There you go, and it's gorgeous. So then all you do is cut it in half. Oh yeah! And then you're gonna cut it in half again. And then cut it in half again. And that's it. So now we're just gonna take these beautiful pieces of our amazing scone and place them onto the parchment paper. I'm using what's called a pastry cutter, but you can easily use a spatula, whatever you have. And then into the oven they go for 20 minutes. Okay, while we're waiting for the scones to bake, I thought I would share with you some of my favorite little at-home tea setup and these beautiful teas. I get them from below. You can order them online. Let me show you how beautiful they are. Not only is the yellow box and the packaging so great, but they're loose leaf teas. So they come with their own individual tea bags that you get to make, so you're not like dealing with that like gross string that's like hanging outside of your tea. And there's all different flavors. My favorite is the Queen's Guard, imagine that. And so what you do is you just open the tea. Smells amazing. I like my tea strong, so I'm gonna fill it in with about 3 teaspoons full. And then you just fold the little flap over, like so. And you create your own little tea bag. How cool is that? Then, I place it inside my individual sized teacup. And then just add water. Fill it up. And we'll let it steep for a moment. So we'll get to you in just a moment, but before we do, time for a little tea pre-scone. Oh, I can just smell it, it's amazing. You know, those Brits, they got this high tea thing down. I mean, no wonder, it's tea time, right? Beautiful. It's a very feminine, just a feminine moment, a feminine way to do life. So, your dreams, your goals. Time to reconnect with them. You know, I know how busy you can get, how much is going on. But let's just take this moment here and remember, like, what are your really big dreams? Like, from that place of desire, from the place of pleasure, from that place within you that like you just know that there's a bigger game that you're really meant to play. And let's take a look at what's it going to take for you to get the level of support that you need so that you can play that big game, so that you can really let your vision come through, be living in your power, and mostly living without regrets, so that you're not like, gee, I wish I would have managed my emotions better, or gee, I wish I would have gotten it together, or gee, I wish I would have thought bigger, or really have gone for it, or changed my schedule, or changed my priorities, or changed my relationships. Like, what's it really gonna take for you to do what you came here to do and be who you came here to be? I know for me, it comes down to simplicity. Simplicity is about genius in your business. It's really about doing less better. And when you kind of like dial it in and do the math, like for me, I know the goals that I've got right now, it's really about impact. It's about big impact. And when you go and you do the math and you do the numbers, it's like the numbers, yes, they're way bigger than where I currently am, but they're not astronomical. And I bet it's probably the same for you. Like, what level of impact are you looking for, or financial success, or maybe it's lifestyle upgrade, or you're really craving community or calling in your soulmate. Like, what do you need to simplify in your life so that you can really focus and give your full heart, your full attention, your full intention to making sure that you're there for you, and that you are making sure that you are there for this dream, and that you follow through to manifest this dream no matter what. While you're thinking about that thought, I'm thinking about our scones, and they are looking gorgeous. Talk about a treat. Oh. Smells so summery and fresh, those raspberries. What I'm gonna do is take them off and let them cool on this rack. All right, time to check this out. Oh yes, it feels so light and airy and fluffy. All right, let's give it a taste. So divine, just like you. So enjoy this time for yourself, and leave a comment about what you are so fiercely committed to that you're gonna be there for yourself and see this dream through. I can't wait to see what it is and take a stand for you. And share this video right now with a friend that you know needs to take some time for herself as well.